What's up, friend? Thank you again for joining me for this 9-minute toned legs workout. We'll start by gently lowering ourselves onto our backs, finding a comfortable position, walking our feet back a step, and starting with our right leg, lifting and lowering to tabletop and back down, alternating sides as we go and doing our breath work in this position with a deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. We're warming up our lower back, our core, our hip flexors. Now on this next rep, as we set the foot down, we can point through the toe and automatically begin lifting through the other leg, keeping those toes pointed. We're recruiting quite a bit more of our core and lower back muscles by lifting through the heels and staying up on our toes for our last few reps in this position. And if this isn't feeling comfortable on the lower back, feel free to go back to that feet flat position and continue alternating legs for a few more. After we set this foot down, beautiful job. We're going to keep our feet here and move into a bridge position on the exhale, followed by a few glute pulses, dropping the glutes down just about an inch above the mat and extending through the hip as we squeeze through the quads and hamstrings and glutes. Warming up those legs now. Remember your breath here. Great job. Our muscles are activated and warm. And after this last extension, we'll go ahead and bring the spine back down to the mat. Take a little breather, readjust yourself if you need to. On your next exhale, we're headed straight back up into that glute bridge position. And if you want to add a layer, we can bring that right leg to tabletop. The hip flexors warm and ready to go here from the previous exercise. And we're dropping those glutes down to that same level and extending through the hip. We're only doing a few of these on each side because they are quite challenging and demanding. Bringing the foot back down onto the mat, we'll lower our spine, articulating through each vertebrae as we lower. Take a little breath here and get ready to head right back up into the bridge position for our left leg, dropping and extending through the hips. Well done. Last one. Great job. Return the foot to the mat, and on your exhale, lowering that spine back down onto the ground. Bringing those knees to chest for a nice lower back stretch. Disengage those leg muscles for a moment. And release from our little ball. Turning over onto our side, we'll have our next exercise from a side plank position. Elbow is stacked under the shoulder. Our legs are in line with our torso before we begin, and your free hand can be placed right in front of the body for extra stability. We're bringing the knee towards the chest for 3 pulses, extending out into a dorsiflexed foot and returning back to center. Great job. Knee comes forward for 3, 2, 1, out and back. Reflexing back to plantar flexion for those 3 bent knee pulses, and switching the foot flexion as we extend the leg and bring it back in line with the body. Well done. We have one more rep on this side. And we can restack those legs, bend the knees, come into a lateral flexion stretch before we swivel around and set up the same way on the other side. Keeping those legs in line with the torso and making sure that elbow is stacked under the shoulder before we begin. When you're ready, take the knee forward for 3 and back for 1. Great job flexing through the foot as well as we extend the leg. We want to work on being precise with our leg line, almost as if it were an invisible line that our foot is moving along as we extend through the leg and bring it back to parallel with the ground. Heading into our final repetition on this side of the body. Once the leg comes back, we'll restack, bend through those knees, and come in for another side stretch. And from here, we'll make our way to a standing position in a squat stance, feet shoulder width apart. We'll send the hips back and down as we bend through the knees, and we're pulsing here for about 5 reps before we extend and come back to standing. Repeating this exercise. Your squat depth can vary here, whatever you're comfortable with. The main thing I want you to focus on is making sure your knees are tracking your toes and that they're not caving inward when you go down for your squat. Pulsing and extending through the legs when you're done. On this next squat, I want you to hold it here. We're lifting and lowering through the heels for 5. And stand. Great job. Let's go right back into it. Coming down, up for 5, 4, for 3, 2, last one. Awesome job standing up. Let's take it down for one more set. You've got this. I know it's burning. It's those toned legs, baby. Amazing job. Well done, well done. Let's head down to tabletop on those hands and knees. We'll finish with a cat-cow cool down as I take my inhale, flexing through the spine. Exhale to come all the way through into cow pose. Bringing that heart rate down, giving our legs a rest. Heading into our final cat pose, through to cow, and back to a neutral spine position. Well done today, friend. Thanks so much for spending time with me. I'll catch you next time. Bye, friends.